Anabolic Academy, only on Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding, YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and now on Rumble. But this is the show where you ask me questions about bodybuilding, fitness, whatever you'd like to talk about. You send them my way, and I will answer them for you. You could reach me on Serious and Silliness Instagram. You could reach me on Facebook, John Livia. You could reach me on TikTok, John Livia. You could email me, UncleJohn1201 at Gmail. My other email, John_Livia@Yahoo. But like, share, subscribe, and let's get into the questions because we got some good ones. And believe me, I appreciate every single question I get. But first, Marcus has 3 questions. What's the best, easiest way to get on TRT? Well, if you have a job with health insurance, you can go to your doctor and you could say, I think I need TRT, and they will check your blood work and they will make sure that you need it. They'll see your test levels. And then if you are in the what they consider to be low or lower than average for your age range, I believe that's how it works, then they will administer it. Like literally, if you get it through your insurance, it costs like between $5 and $10 a bottle. And they're only going to give you what you need to bring your levels up back to average. So that's the fastest, cheapest way and easiest way to do it because the doctor will even inject you. So you don't even have to worry about it. Next question, Marcus. How much is the average cost of TRT? Well, if you have health insurance, like I said, it costs you between $5 and $10 a month. If you don't have health insurance, then you have to pay what the testosterone cost and the doctor's care. It could be relatively expensive, right? He's going to have to run blood work and so on and so forth. And then it says preferably 300 milligrams a week. Okay. 300 milligrams a week is not TRT. TRT is usually about 100, 150 milligrams a week. Everybody's a little bit different. Some people might need more. Some people might need less. That's why they have to do blood work and see where your levels are at. And everybody may respond differently. Somebody might take 100 milligrams of testosterone and it increases too much. And then they have to adjust it. So they bring it back. They inject you with a lower dosage. Some people might need more because it doesn't go up as much as they would like. So everybody's a little bit different. The 300 milligrams is not TRT. 300 milligrams is what I refer to as the danger zone. It's more than TRT, but it's less than bodybuilding numbers. And why do I call it the danger zone? Is because what happens a lot of the times is with testosterone, people think, oh, I just want to take a little bit. I'll take a little bit. They take 250 milligrams a week. They take 350 milligrams a week. And then they might feel good the first few weeks because your test levels go higher because your natural test levels are already functioning, especially if you are a young man, if you are in your 20s or 30s. And then what happens is a lot of the times your natural test levels will shut down or not produce much at all. And then you're working on this little bit of testosterone. There's 250 milligrams, 350 milligrams a week. So usually TRT could be about 100 milligrams a week. And then once you get 500 or more, that is the bodybuilding zone as far as I'm concerned. Again, everybody's a little bit different. You might take 500 milligrams and your test levels might be 1,200, 1,500. And that might be all you need. Some people may take 500 and they only get up to 700, 800. And they might need more. So everybody's a little bit different. That's why you really got to go get your blood level check and you got to see what your doctor says. And for me, bodybuilding numbers usually at my age now is about 500 milligrams a week. That does me good. It keeps me about 1,000, or my range about 1,000, and it keeps me with some decent muscle on, gaining muscle or whatnot. And when I come off every year. I answered this last week. I come off the high levels of testosterone, if that's considered high levels, every year. I go on PCT for about 12 weeks, 4 months, and I just stay on a TRT, which is about 100 milligrams a week, and that's about it. Now, third question from Marcus. Marcus is on IG. Go check him out. What else would you do or take when you lacked energy or motivation to go to the gym? All right, well, obviously a pre-workout. But I'll tell you what I used to do. There were certain videos I used to watch, and they used to really get me amped. And there's 2 specific ones. It was ridiculous, but the first one's not so ridiculous. The first one was basically Superman meets the Hulk. And that's when you had the 2 guys working out together.
Fucking warm up. Huh? Whenever you're ready.
Power! 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 Hulk smash! Hulk smash! Hulk smash! Hulk smash!
Forgot the gentleman's name. Okay, it's Superman and the Hulk in the gym. And basically it was two powerlifters. So Superman, everybody knows who C.T. Fletcher is. He was a great powerlifter and became a social media icon about 10, 12 years ago. And he used to work out. They call him the Hulk. Kevin Washington. This guy was a monster. He was strong as hell. And that used to get me hyped, used to get me pumped. And the other one, I know this is kind of stupid, but the other one was the scene from Rocky 3 when Sylvester Stallone has to fight Hulk Hogan.
Whoa, you move pretty fast for a big guy, you know that? Listen, why don't we just move around a little bit, you know, like give him a good show. First I'll chase you and you chase me, okay? How's that? All right? Go, here you go. Is that okay? Stay away from him. That hurt, all right? Don't mess with him. How's that? Okay? Not bad, huh?
Come on, Miko. Come on.
Hey!
I know. It just got my testosterone boiling, and I couldn't wait to go to the gym. So it was Rocky versus Thunderlips. Thunderlips was the wrestling champion of the world versus the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. And the thing was, they really used to do these things. Like Muhammad Ali fought this Japanese professional wrestler to raise money for charity or whatever. That was horrible. But then there was one where Andre the Giant fought Chuck Wepner, who was a fighter. And that was actually at Shea Stadium. And Andre the Giant threw him out of the ring. And then there was one very long time ago where Rocky Marciano, who was the heavyweight champion during the 1950s, fought Jerry Lewis, who was a comic. And Dean Martin, who was his partner, was the referee. And it was for charity. And it was actually pretty funny, right? So they used to do these things all the time. So Stallone just put it in his movie, but of course he made it like really over the top and whatever. And I mean, you got to watch the scene. I'm sure plenty of you that are my age have seen it. If not, if you guys are too young, just go look it up. And it's in the scene. It's supposed to be that Stallone knows it's for show and for fun. And Thunderlips is Hulk Hogan decides, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And he gives him a beating in the ring. But then, of course, since Stallone wrote the movie, he wrote in that he goes back in and kicks the hell out of Hulk Hogan, which good thing he wrote the movie because that would never happen. But yeah, that's what I would do. Those are the two videos that would make me go to the gym. All right, Fran is the man. And he is the man because he sends me questions every week. So here we go. No, first question from Fran is the man. If a supplement company offers me a sponsorship, but the deal is I have to compete again, would I take it? Well, Fran, you found my weak spot. You found my Achilles heel. That is the almighty dollar. That would be the only way I would get on stage if somebody paid me to. But it would have to be a contract guaranteed that my lawyer would have to look over. Significant amount of money every month, significant to me and my channel, right? Of course, I'm a reasonable human being. And then I would compete, and then I would actually have footage, like following road to whatever contest I would do. And I would also make sure that I pick a great trainer to train me for that. But it also depends on how much they give me and if the sponsorship will continue after the contest, which is really what I would want. But other than that, believe me, there have to be some fine print because I hate you guys who have never trained for bodybuilding contest, the majority of people that dieted for a bodybuilding contest, they call it hell week. It really should be hell month because the last month before a contest, I mean, it is nothing but cardio, no carbohydrates. You're miserable. It's horrible. You can't eat. You're irritable. You don't want to talk to anybody. You're taking anabolics that make you even more irritable, like Trenbolone and Halotestin. It's just fucking horrible. So it would have to be a significant amount of money. But okay. Second question from Fran is the man. Will there be an Arnold Classic preview episode EP09 and Mark's Max Muscle? No, unfortunately. I still keep in touch with EP09. Me and Mark's Max Muscle had a bit of a falling out. I never told anybody because it's nobody's business. So that's why we don't do any more. That's why we don't do any more previews. But they do. They are always on together with another bodybuilding podcaster. I'm not sure who he is, but they do put out great content. EP09 is great for the news. It's kind of like a Nick Strength and Power. Personally, I like it better. But, Mark's Max Muscle is really good for bodybuilding contest reviews after the contest is over. And he reviews them and breaks down what happened. He's really good at that. So really go check out those guys. Because I do things a little bit different. All right. But those two guys are what they're good at. Right. Okay. Third question from the man. Besides bodybuilding and podcasting, what's next that you want to pursue in bodybuilding? Wow. Okay. I'm actually glad that you actually said that, because I talk about this with my wife a lot. The whole idea of the podcast is to create myself as a brand, right? Kind of like how CT Fletcher did, or how Johnny Bravo does, or how Nick Strength of Power does, or whatever. And that's the whole idea. Because if people like me and like my brand and my channel, then it's going to be easier to delve into other things within bodybuilding. And I have two somewhat goals. I really want to get a booth at the Olympia. When that happens in the next 3 to 5 years or so, hopefully, I'd like to make kind of like a big sting. Like, I don't want a little booth in the corner. It would have to be big. I'd want guys from bodybuilding that I made friends with to be there, signing autographs and making appearances, selling merchandise, having beautiful women there. And I make a joke, but the joke is actually somewhat real. I'm just making a joke. But my expression when I make the joke is, I'm not stopping until I have a booth at the Olympia with large-breasted women and Hell's Angels as security. Now, of course, I wouldn't stop even if I got that. But if my brand goes well and my podcast continues to grow, which it seems like it is, then a gym in the future, maybe, when I retire from my normal day job, I would like to open up a gym. Obviously, I would call it Serious Fitness or Serious Gym or something like that, right? And it would be a hardcore niche with some really great equipment, right? That would be the angle. I have not really gone into depth because I'm still working on step one, which is the podcast, making myself a brand and making this podcast a success. And thanks to you guys, it looks like it's happening. So thank you. Okay. Fourth question from Franz the man. Have you ever lost a show but thought you deserved a higher placing? Yes. Yeah. The Brooklyn Grand Prix, I came in 5th, and I really thought I deserved 2nd or 3rd. Look, I went backstage and there was a guy there. I'll never forget it. In 2014, Brooklyn Grand Prix. I was a light heavyweight, best shape I ever was in my life. I had done 3 shows previously. I looked the best I ever did. The picture that I use on Instagram for Anabolic Academy, that was the shot. That was the most muscular shot from 2014 Brooklyn Grand Prix. And I had won the Masters overall. And in the Open, I came in 5th. And I thought between 2nd and 3rd. But I was really going there to win. I wanted to win. I wanted to win the Open. And I wanted to go on to a national level show. All of a sudden, this guy with a Dan Marino jersey walks in. And he's like an inch shorter than me. And he walks in, and this kid looks like a freight train in a Dan Marino jersey. And I went, fuck. I knew right away. This kid's too tall to be a heavyweight. I'm too tall to be a light heavyweight. Really, I really should have been a heavyweight. I just never had that much muscle. And this kid was an inch shorter than me. And he weighed 198 on the button because he weighed in front of me. And I was like, this kid's a light heavyweight, and I'm going to get killed. There's no way I'm beating this guy. So I already knew going back there, I'm like, okay, maybe I can grab 2nd. I wanted to do better than that because I had taken 2nd in the shows previous in the Open. I had won 1 Open, but it was a long time ago in 1999. And I came back in 2012 and I took 2nd. And this guy took his shirt off backstage. I remember my coach, his name was Dominic. And I said to him, Dominic was the coach I used after guy. His name was Dominic Dicchio. We used to go to the same gym, and he was like an aspiring coach at the time. I haven't spoken to him. I don't know what happened to him, but whatever. And he said, "Oh, well, maybe he's a heavyweight." I'm like, "Nah, he ain't no heavyweight. Yeah, he's no heavyweight." So this kid was national stage ready. Boom. Anyway, everything's turned upside down. That kid shouldn't have been touched. They should have won the whole show. He gets second. I get fifth. The kid who should have taken like second or third won, and the person in front of me that was third and fourth, I mean, they were just trash. I hate to say it, but they were just trash. And I'm like, really? I lost to these two guys? But that kid who took second, he should have won the whole thing. There was nobody better than him. And we were backstage, and I remember he was just like, we were at the night show, and I went over to him and I put my hand out. I don't remember his name. I have no idea. I said, "Man, you really got screwed. But just keep your head up, because you deserve to be on the national level stage." And look, it happens, right? It happens. But I had a good friend, John Farmer, who trained and bodybuilder for a long time. He was a sanitation worker from Staten Island. And he actually said to me, he goes, "If you are in the game long enough, you are going to get screwed, and you are going to be rewarded, and somebody else got screwed." He goes, "Sooner or later, you're going to be holding a trophy that is not yours." He goes, "If you're in the game long enough." And he pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's the God's honest truth. I didn't stay in the game long enough, but for other reasons, but that was the truth. Okay, number 5, Fran is the man. Who would win head-to-head in their prime, Sergio Oliva Jr. or versus Senior? Okay, obviously, if you take Senior in his era and Junior in his era, obviously Junior is better, but it's a different era. All the bodybuilders today are better. They're bigger, they're rounder, they're harder. I mean, it's just the case. I mean, everybody wants to argue the golden era, that's fine. But if you put those guys on stage, it would be a no-brainer. Now, if you took Sergio Oliva Sr. and trained him like a bodybuilder today with his genetics, he could be fantastic. He could be one of the best, but we'll never know that. We'll never know. That's like, that's like asking, could Mike Tyson beat Muhammad Ali? I don't know. Who would win in a one-on-one, Michael Jordan or LeBron James in their prime? You're never going to know, right? All right. Final question on Anabolic Academy. HitFit_performance. How important is insulin sensitivity in bodybuilding? Well, it's moderately important, because obviously if your insulin level is high, you're going to be able to gain body fat faster and gain muscle a lot slower. But the good news is the majority of people that are working out either regularly, they have a balanced insulin level, right? And if they don't, that's what insulin is for, to regulate it, okay? There's plenty of guys I know that bodybuilding that were diabetic and had to take insulin, every day, or so on and so forth. But for the majority of people, bodybuilding, working out, eating right, that usually balances your insulin level. So it's really not that great of a problem. It becomes a problem if you start using insulin, you don't know how to use it, and you might take too much of it, or if you do have insulin sensitivity, it could make you fatter instead of gaining the muscle. I mean, I never got into insulin too much because I never wanted to use it, so I can't get into the specifics, but I do know that it's important. Your insulin sensitivity is important, but since it's regulated through exercise and diet, the majority of bodybuilders don't have an insulin problem, right? That's basically it. That concludes this episode of Anabolic Academy. And like, share, subscribe. And thank you, Marcus, Fran is the man, and HitFit_performance. I appreciate all the questions. I will see you next time. Oh, and don't miss this week's Muscle Talk, because Phil's coming back, Dorian's coming back, and I got word from the man himself, John De La Rosa is coming, even though he's 2 weeks out of the Arnold. And he said, "Don't worry, I'll be there." I said, "Only if you're feeling up to it, man." And he said, "No, I'll be there." So De La Rosa will be on the show. And that is it. Later, fellas. Peace.